Hello there, and welcome back to War Thunder. A replay has been sent in some 3 weeks ago by Gh0stFighter in the original T-10M. This gameplay is played very well, and it shows what the T-10M can do, and also the differences to the T-10A. It also gives me the ability to talk about the start of the, Maniac series of top tier implementations. If I'm not mistaken, this tank was implemented alongside the American M60 and the German Leopard 1 or Leopard 1. So the T-10M back in the days was, in my opinion, the strongest of the vehicles, and also definitely more stock grind friendly. And stock grind friendly, we will see later on in the post-battle results what kind of upgrades Gh0stFighter has. Now, if you're familiar with this name, yeah, I featured already a replay from Gh0stFighter on the 29th of February 2020 in the SU-100P, where he also had a very good gameplay. Seems like he continued the grind throughout the Soviet tech tree and now has landed with the last tech tree Soviet heavy tank. And the T-10M is a fantastic tank. It combines good mobility for a heavy tank in particular with decent armor. Well, what is armor at this battle rating versus HTFS, and also a gun that is far superior in more than one aspect to the T-10A, which is the Battle Pass rewards heavy premium tank. The T-10A caused a lot of headache throughout the content creator community. Not a lot of people really liked it. Yes, there were exceptional gameplays like from Oddballs, etc. But he himself said that's rather the exception. And yeah, once in a while you can run into an enemy team. And don't think of a heavy tank being something that can take anything. Even the Oval could easily one-shot this thing through the front. However, we see one of the strengths of the T-10M being showcased here. Not the non-penetration on the German premium tank, but the heavy machine gun, of which this tank has two, the infamous 14.5mm with 45mm of penetration with their AP round. They're just fantastic and support this tank. Not just threaten anything that flies, but also very lightly armored tanks. And there are so many at this battle rating. Think about the Orbital, a lot of other Italian tanks, wheeled tanks in general. No, sorry Leopard, A1A1, that trick doesn't work twice. So the thing is, there are so many lightly armored vehicles, including SPA, where your heavy machine guns are just what you need. And this 14.5mm, or the two of them, have more penetration than the 12.7 on the T-10A, just to show a little bit of the difference. We also have better mobility, maneuverability, and the armor is roughly the same, and it also shall be again demonstrated on the AMX 13 Hot that seems to have a bit of an AFK issue, or he is heavily damaged. First he takes out the ATGMs, and then he executes the crew. Beautiful. And that's already the ace, with two of the kills being down to the heavy machine guns. Fantastic. And you know, he's not backline sniping, he's a bit on the front line, but he also does not try to overextend. He's cautious. Gh0stFighter seems to have the experience to be able to judge when it is the right time to seek cover if there are planes coming in. And yeah, it seems like the Shilka on his team is doing some good AA work. It always helps if you have an AA on your team. So, yeah, let's start with the early days. When the T-10M was introduced, it just combined many things that were outstanding. It had the strongest APHE shell in the game, far stronger than, for example, the mouse, with also a significantly better reload of 15 seconds at best. Also, it had unheard of mobility and armor, and the armor was much stronger back in the days. Now, it also further combined a heat shell that is stronger than the one on the M103, 400 millimeters of penetration versus 380 millimeters respectively, and also the APDS round that you can research previously has far better statistics than the one, for example, on the Conqueror, hence the increased battle rating of now 8.3. So it is an absolute fantastic tank that, fully upgraded, is suited for many situations. The gun also has a 2-plane stabilizer, not the 1-plane stabilizer, with also ammunition from an IS-2 from battle rating, what is it, 5.7, with one of the shells being post-war, but also not such a great improvement. I think maybe the tank has a bit of an easier time at higher battle rating, as funny as it sounds, rather than the T-10A at an even lower battle rating. So the T-10M never has lost its charm in a way. It has been power creep. Stronger, more suitable tanks with better guns, better ammunition, reload, gun handling, mobility, etc. have found their way into the game. But the APAG magic, or APCBC magic in this case, was never lost. What made the tank so frustrating to fight against in the early days was the fact that the ammunition worked differently. And I remember the days when I was infuriated in my stock Leopard 1, a stock run that I'll never forget to this day, that my APDS, first of all, bounced all the time. These days it probably would pen. Then, even if it penned, the post-penetration damage was hilariously weak. The spawning was way less than these days. And of course, the next thing was that even if you hit ammunition, it just blacked out. I think those were the days where the ammunition didn't even bother to disappear, even when it was black. So even if the ammunition was hit successfully and completely damaged, it didn't blow up the tank in half the cases. Those days are long gone. And still, this tank has kind of this feeling. Now, Gh0stFighter also showed here a good amount of memory, definitely more than the usual goldfish play in War Thunder. And he remembered that he shot that tank into the back of the engine. And while he didn't see him behind the building, he knew that he had to be somewhere in the vicinity. A tank with an ATGM let the building collapse, and he then spotted him behind the collapsing building, finish him off for his 9th kill. That's already a really good match. Yes, there are tanks with far worse stock runs, such as the Leopard 1 in the early days, although people that had, all the gold just spaded it and then didn't realize what kind of a hilarious, frustrating stock run they skipped. But there is also the M47 and the M48 with the, for example, stock APCR, which just kill me. that's just it. Anyway, back to Gh0stFighter. He is now the most frontline tank on his team for quite a while, and he's machine gunning one of those pesky Italian wheeled boys for his double ace. Now, if I'm not mistaken, that's his 3rd or 4th kill with the heavy machine guns already. That's quite impressive, and I love it. And again, it shows just the situation awareness, and he needs to also take care of his ammunition count. He only has, what is that? 8 shells left? 5 shells? I don't quite see it in the preview window. Anyway, he doesn't have that much ammo left. Oh, it's 9 shells. Well, pardon me. He's just holding the point. He doesn't make the mistake of rushing the cap or spawn pushing, spawn camping, whatever you want to call it. And then he spots a Kugelblitz at far range. The rangefinder is also excellent. And again, a one-shot kill. 8 shells remaining. Now, if it wouldn't be for the machine gun, it would be far less shells. Remember this at the end of the battle. We're approaching the 10-minute mark of the video, and almost 11 minutes in the replay. Although, you know, the replay needs almost a minute to load in, so don't take this too serious. And it's just holding the position. Another slight advantage that the T-10M has, that it at least has a night vision device, and that, believe it or not, it has more gun depression, with 4 degrees rather than the rest of the Soviet heavy tank line with 3 degrees. And that can make the difference here and there. Another beautiful execution of an SPA that tried to go over the open field. And this is why this position is so strong. And Sinai is, in my opinion, a fantastic map, because while it is open, you still have plenty of cover, but it's not a city fight. And you know, there is also not that much vegetation that would disturb you, or fences, any sort of obstacle in a city fight that would interrupt your vision, or depending on what ammunition you have, also your effectiveness. So it is a bit of a deserted gameplay, and oh boy, this is a situation that you don't want to get into. M48A2 bounces on the side of the turret. Maybe he is also stuck, I don't know. But now Gh0stFighter is going for it. He's outright charging him. And the question is if he could do the same way in the T-10A. I would say no. He takes his gun, he probably aimed for the turret front. And where could you damage this M48A2C from the front with the basically IS-2 gun that the T-10A has? That's the question. Now in theory, Gh0stFighter could go here for a side shot, but he actually decides to go through the middle of the lower glacis, one-shotting here the enemy tank with the first penetrating hit. 13 kills. And now he has 5 shells remaining. So without the machine gun kills, he would be down to what? 1, maybe 2 shells? And also, could he have just finished the M48 as quickly with the T-10A as he did here, effectively, with less maneuverability, with less mobility, with less capable gun handling, less capable shells? It's a never-ending story. I just want to point out that while the T-10A is arguably better than, for example, an IS-4 with the same battle rating, it's far less capable than this one. But compared to everything else that is around here, you know, when you see a full up tier in this, or even a slight up tier, you're fighting Leopard A1, A1 L44s with thermal vision, thermal imaging, with AP FSDs that lol pans everything, with a far better reload and better mobility. And still you can kill them. That's the charm with this tank. You still have something going for you, and even the hardest of armor you can crack open once you are fully upgraded with your APDS round / Heat FS round. A far more versatile tank, far more capable, and I think that this is a little bit of time bias, because I just the memory of the stock grind in my Leopard A1 with the bouncing APDS, the APDS that has little to no post-penetration damage effect, and also even when you hit the ammo it didn't blow up, and then you just simply got one shot by this tank. It just burned itself into my memory. And this is why I initially hated the Leopard A1 so much, and it took ages to upgrade it. Hence why I'm still to this day mentioning stock grinds and giving tips and tricks, and just also trying to educate people with my tank reviews, with my first impressions, and also with featurings like that. One final note is here that if, and this is just a wild guess here, if Gh0stFighter took that long to grind from the SU-100P to the T-10M, I have no idea how active he is, if it just happened to play for fun or just for spading purposes, I don't know, then you can see that a lot of people do not grind multiple tech trees to level or the rank 5, 6 or even 7. So there is also the bias of what you have, and the grass is always greener on the other side of the fence, isn't it? The Soviet heavy tanks, the Soviet tanks in general of this era, have been power creeped and feature creeped and are just a shadow of their former gameplay experience. And yet, sometimes you just simply get those gameplays, and yeah, the FE 4005 got caught here really badly. Again, a tank that easily could one-shot this tank from the front, across the map, at far lower battle rating. And I think this is kind of the theme in War Thunder. Don't rely on your armor. Sometimes it can happen. And that was kill number 15. What an insane gameplay in a tank that is one of the fallen heavies of War Thunder and still has its charm. I just love armor meta. I just love everything in this gameplay that Gh0stFighter did. It was almost a perfect gameplay. And that was essentially it with the gameplay, so let's have a look at the post-battle results screenshots. Gh0stFighter earned 63,000 civilians, of which 13,000 came from awards such as Heavy Metal Hero, which is a nice touch, and also the Survivor Award, which saved him also the repair price of roughly 5,000 civilians if the vehicle would be fully upgraded. More importantly, 15,000 research points. Now, please remember, yes, this was with a win, but this is not a premium account, as you can clearly see, and also not a premium vehicle, also no talisman involved. So, you know, the purest form of grinding. In Soviet Russia, game grinds you. So, definitely my sympathy for that. Awesome result. One that I would love to show myself, and especially when we look at the leaderboard. 1 cap, 15 kills, no death, almost 4,000 score points, rightfully at the top of the leaderboard. And a few more words for Gh0stFighter here. His tank was also stock, so can you imagine what he would be able to do when his tank is fully upgraded? That is just very impressive. So all the benefits that he has over the T-10A, he actually didn't have. He didn't have the APDS, the heat defense, the night vision, and the improved mobility, and not even the improved gun handling to his advantage, because all those things are locked behind upgrades that he kind of made a good progress with, earning himself the said awards. Also, Gh0stFighter made the right thing to send me the replay that he did. So first of all, the post-battle results that I can talk quite a bit about, he attached. He sent me the actual replay file. Again, no server replay and none of your own recordings. This is something that I don't and even can't feature, and I also won't feature. And there are the descriptions in the video description down below. I even made a dedicated video to it, so please inform yourself if you're interested to send me a replay how to do it properly, because there were some awesome suggestions, some awesome replays sent to me, but just unusable, you know, from old replays that I can't even use, server replays which make it incredibly awful to make a video recording about it, and sometimes even just nothing in the email, just a replay or just a file thrown in. This is something that I can't really use. Write a proper email. That's all that I'm asking for. And that's it for me today. So thanks for watching, thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed the showcase. Please give the video a like if you did, subscribe if you want to see more. Let me know in the comment section what you think about the gameplay, and yeah, I hope that Gh0stFighter, that you continue your grind in War Thunder, and I can't wait to see what you will be able to do in your Soviet MBTs. See you on the waves, in the skies, and on the battlefields of War Thunder.